You can't possibly become the world's best striker unless you're also the world's biggest egoist.
Life is war.
A heartbeat. And Messi!
Life is Blue Lock.
Mbappe. Thuram. Mbappe! Oh, wow!
It's a constant competition. A competition where those competing are doing so for everything.
22. The world champions are Argentina.
The sooner you internalize that, the sooner you'll get anything you want. As Jinpachi Ego says, only by becoming the biggest egoist can you reap the full rewards of what life has to offer. This is the way of the superior striker. Welcome to the library, a digital syllabus for champions. My name is Donnie, and today we will be dissecting the philosophy of Blue Lock, what it means to be a superior striker, and how you can use the mindsets of Blue Lock to fulfill your full potential. Season 2 of Blue Lock is out, and it's been getting hit with mixed reviews. Well, actually, most people don't like it. Tell me what you think about it. It seems as though the show is headed in a pretty bad direction, but despite this, I think it still holds true to the original philosophy, which made us all fall in love with the show. Speaking of direction, the first step of becoming a superior striker is finding your why. I'm assuming that you already have many things in your life that you desire, but what is the thing you want to achieve first? Is it improving your physique, your social life, grades, or bank balance? Decide what it is you actually want and decide why. Make sure you think about this deeply, because if your why is something shallow and materialistic, it will be hard for you to push yourself when the motivation you'll gain from watching this video wears off. An example of a character with a shallow why is Reo.
Look, I promised we were going to become the best in the world, and I meant it. So come on! All you need to do is trust me.
Reo wanted to win the World Cup and become a great soccer player, simply because his parents told him he couldn't do it. His whole life, Reo had everything handed to him, and had excelled in everything in life. He was a natural born winner, and him teaming up with Nagi to destroy every local soccer team they played was just part of that progression. But when Reo and Nagi's Team V lost to Team Z in the first selection, Reo experienced defeat for the first time. After this, Nagi betrayed him, and for the first time in his life, he wasn't the star of the show.
That solves the problem. What? What are you talking about, Nagi? Don't mess around. You're teaming up with me, not those guys. Have you gone crazy?
Instead of growing from this and reinventing himself like Baro did, for example, Reo allowed this to make him bitter and tried to beat Nagi and Isugi in the second selection. When he lost, Reo's confidence was completely shattered. He never really came back from that.
Or have you forgotten the promise we made each other? We were going to be the best in the world together. If you're gonna abandon me, then damn it, do it properly.
After they lost, Isugi asked him an important question. Why are you even playing soccer?
What the hell are you even playing soccer for? If you don't have what it takes to be the best striker in the world, you won't survive Blue Lock.
The truth is, Reo was a spoiled kid who was used to having his way, and him becoming a pro soccer player was just a petty way of showing his parents that he could get whatever he wants, even if they didn't approve. If he had a stronger why, he would have been able to handle the challenges and setbacks of Blue Lock much better. Of all the big moments of the show, I think the one that hits the most for many Blue Lock fans was the moment when Ego explained the concept of being an egoist.
That's what Japanese soccer is lacking. It's sad but true. You can't possibly become the world's best striker unless you're also the world's biggest egoist.
Simply put, soccer is a game where a single player can shift the entire energy of the game. And in Jinpachi Ego's opinion, the way to become that player is to possess the biggest ego. An ego is a heightened sense of self, a belief in one's ability to achieve whatever they set their minds to, and an ideal work ethic to strive for. It should not be confused with entitlement, which is the belief that things are owed to you, or arrogance, which is the belief that you can get things without trying or taking them seriously. Ego is something which is essential to possess when entering any field of endeavor. But how do you build an ego? There are three main aspects to your ego. First, the mental aspect, second, the physical, and finally, the personal or individual aspect. Firstly, you need to train your mind to do the things you want it to do. It will be very hard to achieve something when you are constantly filling your mind with negativity and constantly consuming and communicating things to yourself that make you doubt yourself. You need to build genuine mental strength, otherwise you will succumb to things like procrastination and self-sabotage. The best way to do this is to stop complaining and talking about your problems. You probably weren't expecting that, right? You thought I was going to tell you to meditate or be disciplined, but no. Your mind is kind of like a muscle, and your actions are a reflection of how strong that muscle is. Someone with a weak mind has very little self-control. They constantly do what they feel like doing instead of what they need to be doing. And it is very easy for them to give up or get distracted from their goals. But if the brain is like a muscle and doing the right things is training, what is dieting? What you consume and what you talk about is the diet of your brain. Simply put, if you are constantly talking about yourself or your circumstances in a negative way, consuming content that makes you feel negative emotions, or surrounding yourself with people who make you feel like you are small, you are poisoning your mind. When it comes to life, problems and issues will never be fully eradicated. You'll always have something to complain about, no matter how well your life is going. But if you choose to complain, you stay the same. So stop. Stop talking about yourself negatively and stop watching things or being around people that make you feel like you're less than. The next step is to simply do the actions. If you want to get in shape, work out. If you want more money, read books and build businesses. You'll find it way easier to stay consistent when you are not constantly speaking negatively of yourself and when you stop consuming things that make you feel worse about yourself. The final step of finding your ego is to figure out what your ego is. This is personal, as everyone's ego is different. What drives you, motivates you, and gets you going? For Isagi, his ego was based in his dream of one day winning the World Cup. For Nagi, his ego was his curiosity. Chigiri's ego was fueled by the rush he gets when he plays soccer, and Rin's ego was fueled by revenge. Ask yourself, which emotions or states of mind make you the most productive? When in your life have you gone all out for something, or for someone? And what was the source of that? That is your ego, and it is essential to discover this as you master the way of the superior striker. In the first selection, the players had to compete for which teams get to go through to the next round. In the beginning, every player was playing for themselves, since the top scorer goes through regardless of his team's performance. In the midst of this, Baro Shohei emerged and scored the first goal. After this, his team rallied behind him, and instead of playing for themselves, they made him the top scorer, as it was the best way to win. This is what creating soccer from zero means. The whole point of playing the game is to score goals, and that is why the game revolves around those who are responsible for this task, the strikers. Doing this in your own life is simple. Now that you have your objective, know your why, and have created your ego, you must take the first big step. If you're a content creator, this means posting your first video. If you're a musician, it's dropping your first song. Or if your objective is getting in shape, it means designing your first workout program and sticking to it, even if it's only a 30-day challenge. You need to stop living in fantasy and make the pursuit of your goal a reality. This is what it means to turn 0 into 1. During the first selection, Ego introduced the concept of finding your weapon. The idea that each striker has their own unique talent that they can use to score goals. The idea that there is no right way to score goals, there is just your way or his way. Chigiri's weapon was his speed, Bachida's weapon was his dribbling, and Nagi's weapon was his ball control. But what's yours? In the pursuit of your particular objective, what is your edge? For example, if your goal is to get in shape, you might find that you gravitate more towards cardio and running and find lifting weights boring. Maybe it would be better for your training program to be more cardio based, since that is your weapon. Maybe you find it easier to do intermittent fasting rather than spreading out your meals. Either way, your weapon is the thing that you're naturally good at, or the aspect of your goal that comes easy to you. If you're not good at anything, then your weapon is the part of your goal that you enjoy the most. If you don't enjoy anything, well, then your weapon will be whatever you decide you'll be good at. The final aspect of the way of the superior striker is creating a formula for scoring goals. By now you have gotten some experience on your journey and have become more aware of what your strengths and weaknesses are. You have had many setbacks, but also a couple of successes as well. Now it is time to create your formula for scoring goals, or rather achieving your goals, no pun intended. The best example of this would be the main character Isugi's journey. He first discovered that his weapon is his ability to smell a goal, which he later realized is his spatial awareness. After that, he added his direct shot to allow him to score. From there, he added his off-the-ball movements and ability to find blind spots in the mix, and his formula for scoring goals became something he could easily replicate. Which week did you lose a lot of weight? What was your most successful video? When did you make the best music? Whatever your objective, ask yourself, what are the ingredients needed to allow you to perform at your highest level and do so consistently? Because if you can't reproduce your successes, whatever success you do gain will not be maintained for long. This is the way of the superior striker. Thank you for watching. Here's a summary of the action items in the video, and here's a video that goes deeper into what an ego is and why it's important to have one.